Muy buenas noches to everyone. I hope everybody's doing well and as always enjoying family. Y de nuevo, Tony, muchas gracias for allowing me to get on your platform, Stories Written by a Current Prisoner, to share my stories. In the hopes, that I could put out something positive that will stick to someone out there still in the walk of death to the point to, disguide them from a life of prison or to follow suit, in the sense of thinking it's a rite of passage for for a young camarada to go through prison to earn his stripes or his rights. Also, muchísimas gracias de nuevo, everyone, for your kind words and for you guys' prayers. Como siempre, significa mucho. Gracias. Now, for the story, I want to touch up on, a little bit about how politics works and how I seen things when I was in there and how it's happening even till date. And just to enlighten a little bit on, on how pilis or señores or carnales, uh, they be doing camaradas dirty or mainly, besides dirty, how they think towards camaradas in the sense that they have no type of sympathy or no type of care, for camaradas, even though they're the ones holding it down for them, and how they're so quick to even turn on themselves, just for a quick buck or you know for for a quick shot of chiva to feed their veins, or just simply because they feel another pili is touching on a nerve with them, and it's making them feel less, or you know just it's gonna center around this type of conversation. Well, for the first one, I want to touch on when I had left Chino in Tehachapi, the Tio Chino from Maravilla. I went to Corcoran, a little bit after uh, the senor had paroled. So he had set base in Tijuana, and he had a little crew, he had camaradas with him. And for those that don't know basically how Mexico works, Mexico is really, it's scandalous. There's no type of loyalty amongst cartel members or anything. It's basically whoever has feria could do their thing. As long as you're getting, you're supplying the material from where you're at. You don't step, as they say here in Mexico. Miar fuera la cazuela, or you know go outside of them in their own plaza, then you'll be cool. They'll let you get your little crew going and everything, as long as you don't sell either here. So when Chino set up shop in TJ, basically he had himself some solid camaradas with him. Now I would eventually end up in Pelican Bay, and you know, and when I was in Pelican Bay, we had gotten the word that he had made two camaradas from 18th Street. Sleeper and Thumper. He had blessed them, or he had circled around that. He wanted to make them, and he eventually did. So the problem started uprising when jealousy and set tripping, really, because it started settling in. In their case, it happened with, you know, Güero Caballo from East Side 18 and Sleepy from Wilmans, you know. They started feeling like they weren't being cut in, you know. But you know, when I was up there, cause I eventually hit Pelican Bay, and you know, small little problems started uprising. You know, for example, I remember a couple camaradas from 18. They got up there, and you know, basically everything was cool with them. But once they disclosed that you know they were on the streets, you know, helping the Tio Chino and the two other Billies back and forth, then they got put on the shine per se, you know. Not from the camaradas. They didn't get put on the lista. Nothing like that. You could just you could just tell, you know, they were getting the cold shoulder from them. But it didn't really surface till you know Tio Chino passed on, and they ended up staying right there in Tijuana, and then they really started pressing the issue, you know, like they felt that due to them antiquity in the organization, they had the right, you know, to demand more from them than what they were actually touching the mess of the organization with. So they started pressing an issue, and as always, you know, is the camaradas were receiving the hits. What do I mean? You know, I remember in Kern County there was a big ass outburst from both factions. You know, it was just you see any workers from so and so hit them. You see any workers from so and so hit them. It wasn't no more about, you know, check his paperwork, see if he had an R on his jacket, or see if he's a snitch. Nah, it was just and so gets here, and he's claiming he's under, you know, this Billy or my carnal from here hit him, remove him, clip him, and vice versa. You know what happened in Delano? I remember it was like a 30-man riot that happened in Delano, to the point that, you know, needless to say, you know, I have repeated it over and over. You know, it's like not once are they asking, you know, like, hey camarada, are you short to the pad? Nah, they were demanding basically, you know, if you're on that yard and one of his workers get here and you walk in amongst them, then I'm gonna put you on the list, point and blank. You know, the thing that never really, you know, didn't really make sense to me is why we, because I include myself, accepted this type of talk down to, you know, because they're talking down to you, you know, they're punking you straight up. You know, basically do as I say or you're done. So, you know, F everything you done up until that point, the work you have put in, whatever you have done, and, you know, it all boils down to, you know, I feel I ain't getting enough money. I feel I ain't getting enough dope for my band. That you're gonna represent me to that point, you know, that I need my share. If not, then that's your butt. You know, and I really think that's a really scandalous way for them to think about towards camaradas, you know, because as everyone knows, you know, eventually, you know, Sleeper and Thumper, they would end up getting killed. And just to just to enlighten a little more how Mexico works, you know, in Mexico, camaradas, Billies, or even just you come from California, they don't like us, period. Point blank, They look at us as plasticos, they look at us as, they just don't like us. I'm gonna eventually get into, my story, and you will see what I mean by this. But basically, since they know, that camaradas or señores, they have a bigger pipeline up towards Cali to the sense of making more money and stuff, they're willing to sell, and allow them to establish a little mesa down there. And but for those that are in the loop, you know, Mexico don't work under loyalty. Mexico don't have no type of rules and regulations. You know, it's like you do them wrong, they don't find you, you're gonna go kill your whole family, including babies, kids, older people. They don't care. And in Mexico, they don't climb a ladder by the work you put in, or And here is how many people you could get underneath you, you know, and by you clipping your boss, or your boss turning you in or having you clipped. That's the law of Mexico. There's no loyalty here, you know. So that's the mistake that señores and camaradas make in Mexico. Just because, for example, these two pilis that were there after Chino passed, just because they were buying from the vatos from the plaza, they thought that, would be cool. But the fact of the matter is, that, I ain't even gonna put it out there, but the fact of the matter is that, you know, from this other Pili side, the opposite Pilis I mentioned in the beginning, they had a little crew down there too. Cause I mean, you know, and in one time they went down there to buy something. All they had to do is say, "Look, I got 20 racks. I want you to get rid of these people and open this avenue up, and then we'll get it all for you." The cartel ain't gonna look at it like, you know, nah, but they're buying from me. They're not gonna think about that, So that's what ended up happening. And right after that, they won't come second. The camaradas that were at one time pushing for them in the system, that's it. They're done. They're through. Every single one of them is gonna go up on the lista, and you're done. You're gonna PC it up or you're gonna get wet. There's no way around it. It is why I always put on here, there is no sense, no type of an honor no more in the system, man. I don't think there ever was, but I can only speak for my time in the system, and the things that I've seen or heard. Now that you always hear about it's against the rules and regulations to politic against one another, but from this example, what would you call this, I don't only call it politicking, I call them being a big old crybabies, one of those kids that's born in a golden plate, that don't get his way, and he throws himself on the floor and starts kicking and whining and crying, I'm not getting what I want. It's just it's ridiculous, like I know for a fact, that Gizmo from 18, you know just because he sidelined it with, I think he was Tomper's homeboy. Then, at the end of the day, I know Güero Caballo had him almost killed. There was no smug on him, no bad paperwork, nothing. but he still got whacked like he had an R on his jacket, you know. And this is just one example, you know. Like I won't give you another quick example, and this is more till date, you know. You know, as everyone know, you know, I got a lot of stories about this Pili, cause well, I got a lot of personal stories with this Pili, you know, evil from Chiques, you know. But for this example, I want to put out this one, you know. As everyone knows, you know, he made a mesa down in Mexico, and as I stated, you know, yeah, he was buying from you know, from La Rana and Aquiles, and he was doing his thing up in Ensenada, Rosarito, in that area, you know. And the problem didn't uprise from him not paying right or doing something. The problem uprise that it was just greed, man. It was just one of those things that I don't care if you're my carnal. I don't care if we're in the same organization. You know, I want what you have. For example, in this case, it all started with you know, with Mike Boo from Norwalk. Everybody knows for years he was politicking against him, and you know, up in Chiques, you know, in Ventura, he wanted that territory. He felt that evil did not deserve it. Why? Because it always happens like that, man. And whoever that's hearing this, tell me if I'm lying. You know, once a camarada, it don't even have to be a pili, gets deported and puts, he ends up in Mexico and don't come back. They feel like, you know, you ain't worth it. There's nothing what you did in California matters no more. You're in Mexico, you ain't part of no more. That's exactly how Carnales felt. Besides all the other BS like politicking, being money hungry, you know, straight doing their tecato moves, you know. And I know this for a fact because I have a homeboy my neighborhood in Ensenada, and I know for a fact that Mike Boo he started setting a mess up in Nogales, you know, and the vato running that mesa for him was Güero from Norwalk. You know, he had about 6, 7 guys with them under Mike Boo and Pee Wee from Avenues, and they were pushing. They were pushing tough against Evil and Bullet and what is this other vato's name? Man, oh, I don't remember right now. Oh, Shorty. You know, they were pushing against them in Mexico. You know, I mean, just think about that for a second. You know, we're already not liked in Mexico by all these cartels people. You know, to them they see us and it's just they put all this all this but. You know, when it comes to us being there. You know, you're gonna do it this and you're gonna do it this way. They don't care if you're an M member, you're a camarada, or you're a Southsider. They really don't care about that. To them, you're plástico, you're pocho. You know, that's it. You follow what they put out there for you, and you'll be cool. You know, which Mike Boo, what he wanted was Ventura County. He wanted to take it from you. It's just he felt he had more activity in the organization, and he felt since Evil wasn't in California no more that he had the right to claim it, you know. He was minimizing everything that Evil did. Now that goes to show, you know, if they minimize each other or they minimize themselves, imagine how they look upon camaradas. Well, you don't have to imagine. I'm sure that by all you heard, not only from me but from other people, you have a real clear picture of what they think about, camaradas. And, you know, the point of the matter is, the reason why I'm telling this story, because word on the streets is, that they ended up paying a lot more money, to the Rana or Aquiles, one of them two, to clear that field for them, which was Bullet and Evil, and they were gonna make sure they get more. They will demand more Hale than what they were actually getting from them. They would open up another 3-4 avenues for them, like I mentioned in a past story. From avenues to the border and so on and so forth. Cause you can't take from Mike Boo. You know, cause not only him, it's his carnales, one in AC and the rest. Just think about all the avenues they have. And needless to say, Pee Wee. Everybody knows the type of way that Pee Wee could move in Southeast and East LA. So they painted a more pretty picture for those vatos, and like I tell you guys, there's no type of loyalty in Mexico. You got more feria, you're gonna get more jale from them. Then that's all that matters. The rest, they already don't like us. They think of us in a negative ways. So for them, if they don't lose, they're winning more, and they're able to clip one of us. To them, it's a win-win. And those are the facts. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that they receive us with open arms in Mexico. Nah. That's why I once stated, you for people to come on here and put, you know, camaradas, pilis, or an efforts, whatever location in Mexico, and the wiggling they're doing in Mexico. That's like bringing a death sentence towards them, because to be sincere, the cartel don't want that. But I could now with all clarity could tell you guys, that happened with evil, behind greed and selfishness, really, and amongst the own organization. It had nothing to do really with the cartels, and that just goes to show, just what type of gente these people are. I always say tecatos, tecatos, but for those that don't know what it is to be a tecato or to meet a tecato, man, just look at it like this, man. It's just someone selfish that just wants gimme, 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 gimme. And when you protest, like, I want my little cut in this, it's easier for me to remove you than to give you anything. That's how I look at it. I and it's a shame, and I'm not gonna talk about no specific camaradas, but man, if you guys think you've seen a lot of shady stuff towards camaradas in the system over here, you guys should see the type of things that this carnales be doing to camaradas in Mexico. Straight up. I remember the first time I heard, that there was four camaradas that had basically paroled in the system up here in Cali, and they ended up dropping everything, and instead of keeping up with their parole, They wanted to show the señor that, you know, they wanted to be in the mix and get back in the fold to do things as he was supposed to. So they came down to Mexico. Within a month, they got clipped. And when they had it investigated, all we got was, we ain't gonna tell you who it is, ni nada. I'm just gonna tell you, los pusieron sus mismos, and that's it. Now, for those that understand, you know exactly what this means. There was no need for other words. So please, those are out there that still have that chance to, man, to make a life for yourself, and don't think about prison as, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna find solid camaradas, I wanna be in something solid, I'm gonna find carnalismo and follow suit, or I wanna get in the game. I wanna find me a tío, become a primo, besides, climbing that ladder to Southside and Sureño, Campolero, Camarada, and then become a señor's nephew and someone's primo. Before you think about all that, man, look at everything that's happening, man. They're killing each other, you know. Look at how much SMY yards, how many pesetas there are out there. And I'm not gonna say every single one of them, because those yards do have those cats, that just are weenies. They never had it in them to, you know, they never had it in them to be a warrior, period. But there is those that, man, they were top-notch warriors that got done dirty either by politics, behind dope, you know, behind being loyal to a Pili, and that Pili got greedy, got scandalous, so he locked it up. So you're done to, you know, be smart, man. Think about yourself and think about those that they ain't gonna bend on you. They ain't gonna break on you when you lean on them. Or they're not gonna turn on you the minute something bad happens. Or they're gonna throw you down the pipe and get you stabbed to cover their butts. Because that's what's happening a lot now if you really pay attention. It's easier for them to put on the list and have 3, 4 camaradas whack to cover their butts. Because it's easier to remove them than to try to talk to them. Hey, look, stay loyal to me, pero, keep your mouth shut. They don't even think about a camarada in that value to at least tell them first before acting. Nah, they hit them, remove them, because if they stay good, I got skeletons there with them, and I can't afford that. It's easier for me to just F what they've done. Just really think about, there's nothing in prison, man. Nothing at all. Especially now that you have the Pilis walking the main line with camaradas. It's just hear all these other stories that are being put out there, from different channels or angles. Just really see that inner look towards, you know, how much is watered down. It's always been watered down. But when they were slammed in the shoe, Sureños had more wiggle room to breathe, to respect one another. But it's always been like that, because they were in the shoe. They were fighting to take over each other's yards. It's funny because, Güero Caballo and Sleepy, they're the ones that made up this whole system with Popeye and Sherm that to stop all this politicking against each other. So they made the the mesa system, right? And look at this. The, ah, sorry, I was just say something wrong. And look what they were doing, especially like Guero. He was doing it to his own homeboys. Cause I remember in my neighborhood, man, we had different cliques, but me personally, I could give two F's about that. We're hood. That's it. But again, when they hit that level, it's all about me, 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 and me, and my bang. And that's all they think about. They're just the gatos. They know how to do things under the table and scandalous. I guess you could say that. And I just thought I will share with you guys this, and the reason I wanted to touch about on this about evil, because I recently talked to a camarada, like I stated, that's in Ensenada of mine, and he's the one that tell me, yeah, it was this fool's crew, which is Pee Wee and Mike Boo, that had that done to evil. And I asked him, why you say that? Well, you you seen all the back and forth they were having for Ventura and for those two pipelines. I'm not gonna state which ones over they were at, but they were fighting about two avenues they had open towards Cali. And the minute this happened with Evil and Bullet, there was two, three camaradas that was with them that also got clipped that didn't make the news or nothing like that. And now it's just Güero and his mesa and his little crew. They basically took over everything that Evil had, even though they were fighting with each other. So it's really, really easy to see, what happens the minute they start moving in on everything. But anyways, mi gente, I know I've been MIA for a little bit, and I apologize. It's just, it's been a little hectic. It's been a little hectic with things with me recently, but I'm snapping out of it. You could say that, and I'm thankful for that. But with this said, I'm gonna let everyone, continue to have a great night. Again, muchísimas gracias for everyone's comments, for your time, for the time you put in to type in a word or two, especially when you extend your prayers my way. Muchísimas gracias. And with this said, como siempre digo, stay true to yourself and always, always stay loyal to your family. Gracias de